Alright, let me make sure everything's working fine before I actually begin. Alright, it seems fine. Let me just really quickly open it on my other monitor. Okay. I believe I'm able to start within a minute or so. I'm just really quickly checking some stuff right before I actually get to the topic at hand. But yeah, that's about it for this exact moment. Okay. I believe I'm able to now start. Okay. So, my name is Degree, and I will provide you a really short, I believe short at least, live stream about the RuneScape's newest skill, which is Sailing. As most of you know, Sailing has been released on the 19th of November 2025 into Old School, which is Old School RuneScape's first skill. Well, not first skill per se, but the first newest skill, you could say. It usually is met, skill proposals in this game are usually met with extremely negative reaction from the community, which is understandable, as this game has been built on a way of appealing to the player's nostalgia, believe it or not. And I believe that a lot of people have started from the get-go in a little bit more of a hate interest towards this skill, I believe. Me personally, I have been a day one kind of believer, if it makes sense. I have been enjoying a lot of progress reports from Sailing and a lot of information surrounding it. And I will tell you all about it right now, hopefully. Before I start, I will quickly accept some tasks and talk about them while I am doing them. So Sailing is a quite strange mix of skill interactions, if it makes sense. So Sailing is a skill which it's primarily based off of exploration and combat. So, as you may know, in RuneScape, there are three main styles of combat, which would be melee, magic, and ranged. But the reason I say that RuneScape's skill Sailing, actually I forgot to take cargo, my bad, is because you are able to perform combat while on a ship in RuneScape, right? It is classified mostly as a ranged type of combat, which is fine. I think most of people are fine with that, and I think it's a quite nice addition to ranged combat in general in RuneScape. However, I do feel like it's a bit maybe overtuned in some ways, right? Since ranged is one of these skills that encapsulates kind of like the whole game in reality, right? I believe that some people will be turned off by it, for sure. I believe that some people will definitely be turned off because it's appealing to this kind of ranged power fantasy that there's already present in old school RuneScape. Right now, I'm sailing to a small location, which I have scouted ahead of time that I haven't completed yet, because I want to show quite a few primary ways of training and enjoying sailing. One of this, I'll quickly turn down the music a little bit, just because I'm a little bit worried about the audio levels. They seem fine. Am I stuck already? I believe... Oh, hold on. Okay, I believe you do need a different route. I don't think you can go through here with this sloop. I apologize. I haven't actually done this this plot yet, so I wouldn't know this ahead of its time. All right. So while sailing to the new spot that I want to visit, I really quickly want to say what encapsulates sailing in old school RuneScape. So in old school RuneScape, you know that most of the ways that the player was able to traverse was primarily by land and by charting ships. Charting ships, of course, costs money and takes you to the most important locations in RuneScape, such as Mauritania, Great Corinth, which, as we know, it's the land to the east, and, of course, smaller islands such as Relica and other places. Now, sailing kind of started in RuneScape 2 as a joke. As a reminder, RuneScape is a game that is split into two halves, kind of, which one of them is RuneScape 3, which is the modern retail version of RuneScape, which has a lot of microtransactions, which they are getting rid of recently. And old school RuneScape, which is a 2007 game, which has kind of redefined how you play the game. It's more true to the style of 2007, like I said, with combat being the old click and wait type combat, of course. And yeah, so like I said, initially, players have been extremely skeptical about sailing, and to be honest, I can see why, right? One of the things that players cite the most about RuneScape is nostalgia, right? Personally, I do not agree with that, as I haven't had too much... Oh, I've already done this one. As I do not have that much nostalgia towards RuneScape. As a child, I have actually played RuneScape. I've only heard about it when I was maybe 16, which... Yeah, fair enough, right? But the reason I'm talking about this is because sailing has quite a bit redefined how you are playing the game, right? So, normally, this is one of the tasks that I've done, which is charting. You're basically supposed to just find places of interest in the world. Great, the Bay of Sarim has been fully charted. That is great to see. Hello in the chat as well. Alright. So, why would you want to even do this? First of all, it's experience, right? Second of all, you get to unlock some permanent upgrades, quote-unquote, which help you travel in the world faster. Great. I've actually gotten my first random encounter, which is amazing, because I thought this would take the longest time. I don't have too much of a time. So basically, the way that random events in RuneScape work is that every couple of minutes you have a chance of triggering a random event check, which will basically reward you with random items or a little bit of experience. So sailing has its own kind of way of doing a random events. I apologize for the loudness in the background. My cat is very active right now, and I have absolutely zero idea why. I was hoping he would be a little bit more silent, but this is the giant clam. How this works is you are supposed to place an item of importance any item of importance really in the clan. And when you do this, you lose the item, but you are rewarded with a pearl. You don't think you'll be seeing your item again? Right. I think the item that I gave was too low of a value, I believe. I think so, at least. Is that true? I'm not exactly sure. It's sealed shut for now. I guess, well, I'm waiting for it to open. If that's the case, I'm not exactly sure how the clan works, because I have not personally run into that, into this random event. Basically, what you are supposed to do while sailing... what you are supposed to do while sailing is just explore the world, right? And there's a lot of things that will help you do to achieve that. At the start, what you are doing is basically running errands, right? You have a small sloop, and you are running errands known as port tasks. You are supposed to, for example, deliver crate of rum or deliver crate of scimitars or something, right? So that's great. The clam disappeared. I'm not sure if that's what's supposed to happen. Okay, I don't really care about it, so I'm not gonna cry about it. But basically, you are supposed to, at first at least, run some errands around the world and complete tasks. I have claimed 3 tasks as an example, which I will all be doing. 2 of them are combat-related tasks, which you are supposed to slay a certain amount of monsters or wildlife. For some reason, that includes like dolphins, which I'm fairly sure are a protected species. So that's a little bit strange of Jagex to do this. However, you will quickly notice that in sailing, right, the world is quite massive, if you think about it. If you remember, previously to sailing, all of the water was basically blank. Now, the size of the world has been, I want to say, tripled overnight. Because look how much stuff there is in the water to do, right? It is crazy. Yeah, that is a great point that someone in chat has made. Fishing has actually been changed a little bit in how sailing works. The core idea of fishing is still the same, that is correct. However, you are now able to cast trawler nets, which I will unfortunately not be able to show, as this is this requires a way higher level of sailing that I do have. But I will be able to show you the combat that comes with it, and of course the port tasks, as well as I will do a Barracuda trial, which is one of the fastest way to train sailing. Now, I have a little bit of a background in sailing, as I have been privately invited into Old School RuneScape's alpha tests on sailing. I have talked about it previously on my other channels. However, I have never really publicly disclosed this before. I can now, due to the skill being fully out. This is how the combat works, by the way. You just load in a cannon and you pretty much go AFK while the enemy attacks your boat. It's fairly simple. Very, fairly simple. Now, I have been in RuneScape's private alpha test of sailing, right? And what happened is I was invited to test out how crewmates work, how ship combat works, and how PvP works on boats. I'm not allowed to yet speak of the PvP on boats, as I believe it's not fully implemented yet, and there's only sections of it. That NDA still applies. However, I can say what I think about the current state and how it improved since my alpha tests. I can quite confidently say that the alpha tests that I've been in with, I don't remember exactly, I think it was 2 other people, if I am correct. I want to say that this has been improved drastically, if it makes sense. So, yeah, it's pretty dumb to say like, yeah, they worked on it, it works better. But I don't think it's like, I don't think you understand how much it has been improved. I liked the Sailing Alpha. I believed it was interesting, but I wasn't extremely excited about it, right? The private alpha I'm talking about, not the public alpha that was shown to the people that you were able to participate in. And I was a day one sailor lover, you could say, right? I've loved the idea of sailing, and I have voted on every single poll on yes, because I did believe that this is a great skill. And the two tests that I have concluded kind of reinforced my state that it is jank. However, you can confidently say this will improve drastically, right? One of the things that I can say that I've given private feedback to Jagex to was how crewmates work. We had an entire day of testing how crewmates work, right? And it culminated in us saying that crewmates kind of feel too babysitting. They felt like they were babysitting you, if it makes sense, right? And I believe that has been addressed fairly well, because now the crewmates just kind of stand around and do nothing, which, to be fair, I feel like is better, because they would take steer every single time in the alpha that I've been taking part in. Currently, you can see this combat is taking a really long time because I am using bronze cannonballs, but I will switch to iron in a second, so it should be fairly faster. And yeah. So this skill was in development, I believe, for almost 2 years before it was even shown to the public, which kind of just shows how much attention of the detail went into this, right? Before Jagex even kind of banked in on anything, right? I believe for this task I need to obtain something. Mogre Mace 3 times, so this little thing that they have. I'm not sure what the chances for them to drop it are. I don't believe they're very high, because I should have seen one by now. Usually they drop in within 3 kills or something. I'm talking about rare parts in general from mobs. And another thing that has quite surprised me about sailing is just how much it has added, right? So I've talked about it almost tripling the size of the world overnight, basically, right? Because there's almost anything you want to do in the world right now. You have like oceans that cross into each other and kind of like change how entire islands look like, right? You can dock your ship and travel, right? You can just travel to this distant land that you never could before. You couldn't get there in normal ways, right? And the only way was to either run, teleport, or chart a ship, which was expensive. But now it's technically free, as long as you have the patience and a little sense of adventure, right? And while you're at the sea, you might want to do some of the tasks that I'm doing currently. Right now, I'm getting extremely unlucky with them. But the entire point of this task system in the water is, I believe, to add more variety to the game. So one of the skills that is integrated really heavily into sailing is sailing skill. As you know, the sailing skill is a skill that requires you to find enemies, basically. You're just supposed to find enemies and fight with them. And that's fine. And like usually you're tasked to kill maybe like 200 like blood bells or something, or 200 dragons, whatever. But I feel like the task system that we have for port tasks, which is what I'm doing right now, is extremely interesting because it's as if the Slayer task was combined with a Hunter Rumor. If you remember, during the Varlamore Part 1 update, or sorry, Part 2, I think, I'm not exactly sure, the game had added the Hunter Guild. I've gotten one of the maces, that's what it looks like. I need 2 more, so that's nice. So the game has added Hunter Rumors, which was basically kind of like farming contracts, but for hunter creatures. And it was fairly simple, and people actually quite liked it. I was one of the people that did like it a lot. I've gotten my pet on my main account fairly quickly, within one contract. I believe it was 1 or 2 contracts. So I was very happy about that. But this Slayer/Hunter system for sailing reminds me a lot about that. Because you do harvest rare parts that rarely drop from these enemies that aren't really worth it to kill unless you have a task on them. Which also sounds like a Slayer task, right? So that's about it in terms of the combat system that has been introduced. The movement, I believe, is satisfactory to what they have been proposing before. The original movement that they came up with was extremely snappy and really unnatural for the boats, right? If you think about it, boats are really these massive hunks of metal or wood that just float. And yeah, that's not far off from what they actually are. And I feel like the RuneScape kind of presents movement in a realistic way while keeping it game accurate and not burdening the player with it. If what I'm saying right now makes sense, right? I feel that if they have went for any other proposition of movement that they have right now, I believe this would have been a disaster, frankly. I believe this would have been a disaster, actually. So, as you can see, you have probably noticed this by now, my ship has its own health pool, just like the player does, just like the enemies do. But, of course, while healing as a player, you do it by eating food. The ship kind of has a similar mechanic to it, not exactly, but it does have a similar mechanic to it, where you repair it with repair kits. I have prepared some repair kits before the stream, like the oak repair kit, as you can see here. And all it does is you just use it, and you're good to go. I restored 10 HP for the little ship that I'm operating, which is great. I apologize. There we go. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is you are able to kind of attack with magic and ranged while on a ship, which is great. Visual. I don't know if they could drop visuals. That's interesting. I feel like that will come in handy to some Snowflake accounts. Yeah. I'm almost done with the tasks, so after this I believe I need to go to Port Khazard, yes, Port Khazard, and then I need to kill terns, which are those birds. I'm not exactly sure where birds are exactly. I believe they're over there. Behind Karamja. This is the island of Karamja, of course. And yeah. While there are a lot of positives to sailing, I will be the one to say that there are definitive negatives of sailing. Personally, I feel like the world is way smaller. But you might wonder, like, how come? How come is the world smaller, right? It's simple. If you can cross the world by traveling a ship, right? I'm not talking about sailing. I'm talking about charting a ship, which is the paid service that you do to certain sailors. If you can travel a world and arrive at the same destination within, like, let's say 3 seconds, right? You pay a lot of money for it, but you're in a brand new place. Okay, it feels like you've been on a voyage, in a way, right? You've bought this ticket to a ship, and you're suddenly on the island of Great Corinth, which is the... Oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Which is the land to the east. But if you have your own ship, you can just go. Like, nothing is stopping you from sailing from Feldip Hills all the way to, like, Varlamore, right? Not a single thing is stopping you. Maybe a little ingenuity, because there are a lot of aggressive enemies on the way. And I'm not the biggest fan of it. Like, sure, I think this is great for the game, but the world just feels smaller. And I can't quite put my finger on it, if that makes sense. Like, look at it. There's something everywhere. There isn't this patch of land that isn't used. Right? Like, you might say, like, oh yeah, Curse Archipelago is used. But this water is inaccessible. You cannot sail here. this area just destroys your ship when you try to sail it, right? It's similar to brackish waters, or not brackish waters, I believe it's poisoned waters, I'm not exactly sure. But this one you can neutralize. You cannot neutralize the Cursed Archipelago waters though. Or I believe this water. I'm not 100% sure about that. But as you can see, you cannot sail to places like the Fossil Island, the Dragon Tooth Island. You cannot sail to, of course, the Bounty Hunter area. I do not remember what it's called. I do not play PvP. I'm not a PvP player. And you cannot sail to the Lifker? What's it called? The Lifker? Lifkren, sorry. Diamond's Crater was what it was called, yes. You cannot sail to Lifkren, right? Which is quite strange to me, but I understand why it's done. You shouldn't be able to go anywhere, because that makes the world just way more accessible, and I believe that is bad for the longevity of the game. Now, you could have seen that I've gotten a seed from one of these guys. This is a Wild Blood seed, which is not something new, but there are a lot of new seeds for farming, introduced with sailing, of course. And farming is one of the core skills for an Ironman. As you can see, I'm an Ironman currently. On my Ironman account, I did used to mostly play main, which is the unrestricted type of account, but I have switched to Iron because it gives me a different sense of progression, and I quite like it. The game is way slower, and I feel like it's way more enjoyable as well. So, I believe that sailing could be an necessary skill for Ironman, if it makes sense. I hope this is the last enemy to kill, because I would like to move on to different spots. If it doesn't drop it, I will just do it either way. Also, you might have noticed that there's this little guy following me, or not really following me, but he's kind of like loitering, if that makes sense, on my boat. And it's not without a reason. I have Marintil. Okay, this is still not it. I have employed this guy as a part of my crew, which you can do with appropriate sailing levels. So these guys are here for a reason. For example, I haven't been repairing my boat, because what I can do is I can tell Jobless Jim, which is his name, that's not me calling him, he's literally just called Jobless Jim, to make repairs, for example. Or, sorry, not the cannon, repairs. See, I can scream at him, Jobless Jim, make repairs, he repairs it. There we go. And I'm back to whatever I was doing, right? I can also take over and let him man the cannon. However, I will not do that because of a couple of certain things. If the crew handles your cannons, well, 46 sailing, that's pretty nice. I hope to get 47 by the end of this stream review type thing. I believe that I'm not exactly sure about this. I could be wrong, completely wrong, but I don't think I am. I believe that if crewmates help you kill enemies through the cannons that you tell them to man, you do not obtain range XP, you just obtain sailing XP, I think. And yeah. Well, this account is pretty new, unlike my main account. I do think that I do need some of this XP, so I will not be skipping on it, because it doesn't change that much. And I believe player has rope pike. This is annoying. I do believe that the player has higher chances of hit and higher hits in general, I think. Though I could be wrong. I am not quite versed in ship combat yet, because I have not been doing it much, as you can see by my levels, right? It's one of my lowest leveled skills on this Ironman. Yeah. So, another skill integration that I want to mention is that if you have noticed in the description of the skill, there is a lot of stuff such as boat facilities. You can see bronze cannons, iron cannons, and steel cannons, for example, which what I'm striving for right now. These are facilities that you can buy, sorry, not buy, build. You can build them, and attach them to your ship to change how it works. For example, you can add a keel, which will help with defensive capabilities of your ship. You can add better hull parts, which will, in general, increase the HP and defense of your ship. You can build a better, for example, mithril salvaging hook. I believe mine is steel, though I could be wrong. Yes, I have a steel one, which will, for example, speed up how your salvage works, right? And you have additional facilities, such as, for example, cooking or salvaging. Salvaging is one of the areas that I will show you in a little bit after I kill this Mogre, because it's been taking a while and I want to be done with this task. Can you please just give me the mace? Please. No, he did not. Alright, well, off to another one. But yeah, I do believe that this will be a core skill for most Iron Men, as it is required to go into pretty great areas. With, for example, rosewood trees. If you are aware, woodcutting has been one of the most neglected skills for a really, really long time. And we have obtained the new highest level tree available in the game, which is the rosewood tree. I'm not sure how the experience rates are on it, but I do believe it is worth to pursue, especially if you are thinking about upgrading your stuff. Another thing, since woodcutting is so connected with fletching, it's natural that sailing, which is connected with woodcutting, would be also connected with fletching. For example, you can see that by looking at the dart section. We have a lot of new blowpipes. We have 3 new blowpipes, as a matter of fact. Camphor, ironwood, and rosewood. This is an alternative. I believe it was added mostly for Iron Man, since the only way to obtain a blowpipe before was to kill Zulra, which is a mid to late game boss. Not quite late game, not quite mid game. It's a little bit in between of those two. And it's as what's known as a prison for Iron Man, because it's an item used in a lot of content. And I feel that is a way of Jagex a little bit of catering to Iron Man, which, to be honest, I am not very happy about. I feel like this is a self-posed restriction made by the player on themselves, so on the player by the player, which, of course, as you may know, disables your trading with the other players, using Grand Exchange, and picking up items from other players that they may have dropped, such as like their bolts or enemy drops, as well as other players cannot help you kill monsters. Your kill will simply not count, meaning you will have to do it all over again. While I am not a big Iron fan, I have switched to the Iron lifestyle a little bit, which, yeah. I believe that sailing is a very important skill to my account, even though I have not been doing it for a long time. For some reason, this task is taking way longer than I expected, and I have one more kill task, which I don't think I will do, since this one's taken already so long. But I will be showing you how the deliveries work, how the diving system, for example, works, and how Barracuda trials also work. Barracuda trials, I feel like, is the most interesting part of sailing. It is one of the most active ways of training sailing. As you know, every good skill has a good and... an AFK and an active way of training a skill. Woodcutting, for example, would be just like going AFK in the farming guild and chopping down the big trees, the redwood trees. While an active one might be something like doing veil fletching while cutting down or doing forestry events, right? Without tick manipulation, of course. But sailing is also one of those skills where an active way of participating could be Barracuda trials, which I will show in a little bit. I just really want this Mogre to die, please. While an AFK version of training it would be not necessarily running port tasks, because they do require you to be a little bit of AFK, but, a little bit of activity. However, you can still be a bit AFK during them. Right. So, the smartest way to train sailing, in a way, is to run Barracuda trials like I have mentioned. The first Barracuda trial is available, I believe, at level 28 or something like that. Something along those lines. I can check really quickly. Barracuda trials. It's at 30. Okay, I was close. And it turns this boss that was available for fishing for a really long time into another area of skilling for a person who might not very be interested in killing a boss, which is Temporos, right? Temporos, as you know, is a boss that encapsulates the fishing skill, and all you're supposed to do is take him out and neutralize him and just get his loot. It's a non-combat encounter, which is... There we go. I've finished up. I have gotten a little oyster with apparel. That's very, very nice. Thank you. Right, I will head to Temporos Cove now, and I will present just how this looks. So, this is one of the first ways you will start speedrunning, in a way, your sailing journey. So, as you can see, I've been using rapids a lot to go a little bit faster, as well as running into random events, which speed up my boat, like, for example, the strong winds, or just getting a wind boost by itself. You can technically just click with your mouse, go AFK, and do absolutely nothing for an hour, and in that way, you will get from point A to point B that you want, but you will miss out on speed and actual rewards from random events, such as the oyster that I've shown. Alright, we have arrived at the Temporos Cove. Let me quickly find the NPC. I never remember where he is. I believe... Yeah, right here. There we go. So, I have finished the entire Temporos Cove with perfect scores, I believe. Temper Tantrum was the name of this Barracuda trial. Alright. Okay, let's see. Yes, I have finished all the Barracuda trials within my times. My times were pretty good, actually. We're not the best, obviously, but they are pretty decent. So this is one of the best ways you will have to train sailing, because you get over 1,250 XP per successful attempt, and a one-time bonus XP of I don't know what, because I have already claimed it. I'll start the first trail, which is Marlin. This is the hardest way of the trial. So how you are supposed to play this is you pick a route to travel around this entire place, and you need to grab as many crates of rum as possible and deliver them right over here to the Barracuda boats. I will attempt right now after this cloud strikes down. There we go. Let's go. So this is the most active way to train sailing, which is attempting Barracuda trials, of course. There. So, by just coming into close-by contact with the crates, you receive a little bit of XP, and the rum bottle is being placed on your ship, which you do need to deliver, right? Let me focus a little bit, because this is not the easiest. There we go. I don't believe I'll make time for the perfect score, because I have not practiced this in a really long time. There. Let's collect our rum first. Perfect. And let's go all around on the first stage. There we go. You have to dodge this one a little bit to make sure to grab this one. There we go. So, as you know, hop on Pathologic Free. No, thank you. I have seen that it was released. I will not be doing such thing. Maybe on my second stream review. I have not played that game, so that could be a thing. So, I'm not doing quite great as I would hope, because I've taken a little bit of damage and I've missed some rapids, which is really bad for my time. But currently, I am doing better than I expected. Okay, one rum delivered. Now, I will take the middle route while obtaining as many rapids as I possibly can. There we go. I believe the middle path is the hardest one to do on this Barracuda trial, though I could be mistaken. I do not quite remember. It has been a while. Yeah. But one of the things that I have not been testing while privately working with Jagex was the Barracuda trials. I have not actually been able to do them. I'm not sure why. I mean, I understand why, though I wish I could have at a time, because they're very, very fucking fun. Apologize for the little swear there. But they're incredibly, incredibly fun. And I believe that this is a good way to introduce players to a little bit more active way of playing the game. Right. Let me focus a tiny bit, just so it's possible for me to still get the time. I believe it will be, but I need to be very careful. Okay, I hope for a strong wind here. Pick me. Guy's not having a great day, I see. Alright. Great. Okay. This is going way better than expected. And I am missing 4 crates. This is 2. I know where the 1 is. And this is 4. This is it then, I believe. I need to do a little circle here, because I will miss the room crates. There we go. And I need to do a circle right here. Thank you. There we go. There we go. This is going pretty well. Though I have fucked up a little bit. I need to do a full circle now. Sorry, did I say 4 crates? I meant 8. I don't know why I said 4 crates, by the way. I did mean 8 crates. But I know where some of them were, so I was not worried about that at all. I don't think I will make time, personally. But it's not that big of a deal, as I'm only attempting to show off the trial itself. I have beaten my trial by... Okay, I have not actually beaten my trial. I have been late by 1 second. Great. So this was the Barracuda trial on the hardest difficulty. It's not that hard, especially not the lower trials themselves. I will attempt one more time to hopefully maybe make my time, and that would be great. I want to beat my time since I haven't been practicing this for a while, so that's great. All right, let's start with the outer relayer first. After that, I will probably assign my crewmates and show you another part of sailing that people actually quite like, which is the salvaging part. Unfortunately, I do not have a onboarded salvage station, so I will have to sail back to the port and from it a couple of times. But I believe that it is a great addition to people who actually feel like AFKing the skill a little bit, right? Oh, okay, that's really bad. I messed up a little bit. I messed up by stopping my boat by an accident. That's alright, though. Sometimes you cannot really predict those things. Or maybe sometimes it's just a skill issue. Could be both. The entire point of the Barracuda trial is not to go fast. I believe the entire point of it is to plan a perfect route. Right? So you're not really expected to be fast. You're expected to know your way around it. If you understand what I'm saying correctly. The crates, they dictate kind of what way you want to travel through the actual activity, right? But you do not have to follow any specific paths, because the real only like progression kind of system is the rum dashed Ralph, which is the guy that throws you rum that you need to deliver to the other guy, which is the quite main mechanic of Barracuda trials. The crates are here, I believe at least, mostly to just provide you with XP and, of course, well, also do the trial, but they're more of a incentivization rather than restriction, in a way. I'll attempt the shorter path this time to see if maybe it will go better than I expected. I shall see. Because what I need to do is this, that I've messed up earlier. There we go, that's way, way better. Now I'll collect the rum and turn around. There we go. This is far, far better, and I feel like this will be better time as well. Hopefully, 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 hopefully. Now, after I'm done with the second attempt of the Barracuda trial, I will present how salvaging works and how you're able to extract loot from salvaging spots. And I believe that it will be the end right there. But, yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice that you find things inside the crates. I have never noticed that, actually. It gives me oak planks coupons. That's quite nice. I genuinely haven't known that. See? I've been the person who played this for a really long time, and, like, I didn't even know that. That's interesting. And I messed up again. That's great. Okay, my ship is gonna need some big repairs after I'm done with this trial, sorry. Okay, great, 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 great. This is the last rum. Now I need to follow a specific path and hopefully not miss any crates, because I did mess up a tiny bit in one section. Right. Can get hit, that's good. Get to trim my sails, that's really nice. Great. I'm gonna get hit here, yep. Thankfully I didn't lose that much speed, now I did, because I bumped into something. Okay, this time will be way worse. But that's alright. That's alright. I'm only here to provide commentary over it, not necessarily win. Not necessarily win. I have been 3 ticks slower than previous. Alright, well, that's been fun. Let's collect my crewmates, and I will really quickly show you what the other activities are. I believe that one of the areas that I have not charted yet is right here, which I can do. If I believe it's like right around here. One of the activities is underwater diving. There we go. There's the Marina Kebbit Monkfish, which is a great name, of course. What you're supposed to do is you are supposed to take out your diving gear, put it on, take off everything from your hands, and you simply talk to her. After talking, you will be presented with a riddle that you are supposed to solve. I have my answer prepared so I don't look very stupid on the stream. But usually, they will ask you to show them an item or ask to resolve an issue, right? This one, I believe, was Willow Stock. I was correct. So after that, she will take me under the water, and I am able to study the flora and get a little bit of burst of XP, which is great. Great. Let me make way to, I believe, what was it? It was Port Khazard. Alright, I have a Port Khazard and a turn bounty, which should be fairly easy to do. I can go there without my crewmates, which is very nice. I don't think I will be stopping for any turns. I'll simply, yeah, we're right here. Actually, let me really quickly check what their HP is like, because I genuinely do not remember. Oh, we're only 30. We should be going down pretty fast then. I won't do the entire thing right here, because I think it will take a bit too long to finish it. However, you should. If you do what I'm doing, you should. You definitely, 100 times definitely should. Because it's all about efficiency in the long term, right? You are not technically required to do this, but it's definitely important to do so, right? There you go. That's turn feather number 1. Very nice. I will really quickly put away those items so I have more space. Fix up my ship so I have even more space. Go. But yeah. I do believe that this is a satisfactory skill, but there are definite problems with it. For one, I do not see how it's possible for Jagex to make a combat boss oriented at sea. I genuinely don't think this would be an enjoyable encounter for players, since of how the movement works. Unless it is the crewmate that does the killing and you do all the moving, which is the only way I think this could succeed. Though, we have to let them cook, as we say, and just figure it out. Alright, I will slowly make my way to Pandemonium so I can deliver that crate. And then present you how you do salvaging. Because at my level, I'm able to use a steel salvaging hook, which is able... Sorry, not this way is closed, I always forget. I'm able to salvage Barracuda shipwrecks. Oh, large shipwrecks. Okay. No, wait, that's 53. I thought I said 33. My bad. So it is Barracuda shipwrecks. And Barracuda shipwrecks, I believe, are only located in here, which is the Storm Temporscope, Storm Tempor, whatever you want to call it. I can really quickly check if there are any other places. Barracuda shipwreck. Let's see. Oh, there are some more. There are Sea Spirit Dock. I have no idea where that is. Where is that? Oh, okay, that's just the same place. Backwater, I don't think I can... Yeah, I cannot get them from there. Myths Guild, cannot get them from there either. Angler's Retreat. Okay, I can only get them from Temporos place, which I will, I guess. Also, another cool thing about sailing that I've noticed is you get this interesting angle to places that you've been before, right? This is Crandor, which is the Dragon Slayer 1 quest area, right? And you get to actually sail right next to it, right? Which is interesting because it makes you feel like there is stuff here, right? I mean, obviously there is stuff here, but it feels like there's a lot to do. This is another random event. I have obtained ammunition, which is steel arrows. That is pretty useless, unfortunately. Yeah, 40 steel arrows, that's pretty much it. But there's a lot of things that you can find from those crates. I think one of my first finds was an adamant scimitar, if I remember correctly, which is another interesting way to provide players with obtaining basic resources, right? You may think adamant scimitar is not a basic resource, but in a way it is. In a way it is. It is a resource that you use to combat train, which will provide you with other resources, right? Therefore, I would say that it is a basic resource, especially with fighting. Of course, for a normal player, this will not be useful, ever. There we go. This is the task. I have delivered one place from another. I went from one place to another and delivered the crate. That's basically it. And you can see I have a lot more tasks. I should probably do the Corsair Cove dagger delivery, because it's very far away, and it's level 40, which means it will have a lot of stuff for me. I will also take the Bull Shark place. Alright, I will not be doing this right now, obviously, but I will, however, get this cargo and put it on my ship so I can do it later. This is the way of RuneScape. Oh yeah, I was supposed to take Jobless Jim. Where's Jobless Jim at? Where's Jobless Jim? Am I not supposed to take them from here? Okay. I could be wrong. Maybe I need to go to a different port. Huh. Okay, I vaguely remembered that you needed to go to a port and talk to them again, and they basically just get in. Crewmates. No crewmates available. Crew registrar. Oh, is that at the shipyard? That kind of sucks. I won't cry about it though. So, the last thing for me to do... Actually, I forgot to deliver one thing, because I have the Mogre Maces. So, I can get a little bit of a reward for that. Here we go. 1,790 XP. That's pretty good, I would have to say. That is pretty good. Also, before I go, I'll make a little bit more space in my inventory, because it is very, very messy right now. A lot of seaweed and random items, which I won't be obtaining. So I'll just get rid of them. Not the turn feathers, though, because those are important. Okay, I will wear my items once more, because I don't think I'll be diving again. Not during the stream, at least. But I will, however, go to Tempor's place and Corsair Cove, because it is kind of along the way. And I'll show you one of the dangerous areas, actually, that is in here. So, not all enemies are aggressive automatically in sailing, right? I'm not sure what their aggression is based off of. However, some enemies are aggressive, some are passive, as you might expect in an MMO. But if you sail away from the comfort of your kind of home area, which would be Mist Helen, you will notice that there's a lot of things that are trying to kill you. There are a lot of things that are trying to kill you. Not those bull sharks. Those are pretty okay. They don't really care that much. But it will be the hammerhead sharks that are right along the coast here, I believe. If I remember correctly. I think I do, though. Let's see. Are they here? I'm only here for a crate, so it does not really matter. I was supposed to... Was I supposed to get 1 or 3? I may have did an oopsie. If it's free, I'll just go to Tempor's place. Is it free? It's free. Okay, well, I'll just go to Tempor's place because I have messed up accidentally. That's alright. It's just another delivery that I have done previously, so I do not really care. Those are the hammerhead sharks. These guys will pretty badly damage my boat, so you want to kind of stay away from them. This one's swimming towards me, and he doesn't care. But this one will probably attack me. Yep, I think he missed. Because they deal quite a lot of damage to boats, I believe. Not sure what it's based off of, but I do know that the ship defense has its own kind of statistic, which was programmed into the game kind of independently of how defense works in normal PVM, right? Alright, I've been talking for quite a while. Okay. We're nearly there. All there is to salvaging is it's an AFK activity, which means, of course, away from keyboard. And all you are supposed to do is salvage. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? All you do is just chill, hook in items, take them, move them to a salvaging station, and sort through salvage, which helps you to get some rare items as well as some EXP. I will show a little bit of it. See, there we go, I've already gotten one. And hopefully I will finish by the time I'm level 47. Because I do want to build my steel cannon. Which would be quite nice. Considering I have a lot of steel cannonballs that I would like to use. But I cannot yet. Because my cannon is too low level. Alright, that's pretty fast. Already got 47 pretty much. Just need 2 more salvages. Or 3, I think. Was it? How much XP was it? I wasn't paying much attention. It's not a lot, but it is an AFK way of playing, right? Which is always great, and people really, really like it. Now I need 3. After this is done, I will sail to the nearby port and sort through the salvage. And that should conclude our little adventure at sea. Level 47. Great. Let me really quickly go to Pandemonium. Can I go through them? I don't remember. No, you can't. Okay. Great to know. Great to know. The Pandemonium is, of course, extremely close to Temporos Cove, which is good, because this is one of the places that you can sort salvage at. Most of the places that you will want to salvage at, though, is places like, I believe Catherby has a very close salvage station, but also you can build your own salvage station on your own boat, which is also great. And I believe that it is a good quality of life kind of thing to do for the players. There we go. So all you do is you grab this salvage, you go to the salvage station, and this is it. Just throw it and get some items for your troubles, such as teak logs, oak logs. You can see a little bit of steam cannonballs, which I will never say no to, because I am an Ironman and I do not like mining. I don't. And that's basically it. I would like to see where is my jobless Jim, because oh, there he is. Hello, jobless Jim. Let me see, manage crew. Right. Let's get our jobless Jim in. So, the last thing I'll show you is basically what also you can do while having crew on. Jobless Jim, please head to the salvaging station. Or sorry, salvaging hook. All he's gonna do is complain that there's nothing for him to salvage. But when I arrive at a salvaging station, salvage point, he will hook in some salvage, move it into cargo, I believe. I haven't done much salvaging with the crewmates before. Hitting on MLM. I am not hitting on MLM. I'm just not very happy to do it, basically. See, as you can see, Jobless Jim is working. And I believe everything that he hooks in will he put in cargo, I believe. Fairly sure. Let's see. Jobless Jim. You're taking a quite while to hook this in. Might be scamming me. But, what you can do is, with bigger ships, of course, you can upgrade your ships and get bigger ships. If you have a bigger ship, you can get a second spot to get a salvaging hook. So, for example, you, as well as your crewmate, can both be salvaging, which is incredibly good for items and XP. And, of course, being a little bit of AFK. Now, I think this will conclude my entire review of sailing. If I had to say it in one word, was it worth it? Or sorry, not one word, one sentence. Was it worth it? I have to say, yes. But it is still obviously something that is being actively developed and changed. Now, this may change in the future, but I believe that the spot that sailing is in is a little bit how divination is in RuneScape 3, which is a skill. A lot of people don't enjoy it. A lot of people enjoy it for the AFK aspect. But in the long term, I don't think there is a reason to go for 200 mil XP, which is the max XP amount. I simply don't think that there is a reason to do that. This concludes my live stream review of the OSRS's newest skill. Hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye. It's been Diggory, and it's been a pleasure to do this. See you.